So it's Q&A number 101, as you can see from our fingers and hands here. And we're going to get straight onto this Q&A with a question from Final Limits 1. What would Austin have been like had he stayed with WCW as stunning Steve Austin and gone to WWE only after WCW got bought in 2001? Probably we wouldn't have had an Attitude Era, I don't think, if he'd have gone to WWE in 2001.
I think that's obviously pushing it further down the line. Yes, there's a chance that Austin may have stuck around long term up to this date we're in now.
He wouldn't have been a star though, no way.
Maybe not as big as he would have been.
He would have been nowhere near as big as he would have been if he stayed as stunning Steve Austin in WCW. WCW at the time were dominated by guys like Hogan, Nash's. They would have never have put him at the top. So to be honest with you, we wouldn't really, I mean, to be honest, WWF might not have been around because WCW may have just won the war. You don't know. Does Edge, Taker and Triple H miss their long hairs, and why did they cut their hair? Probably because it was getting in the way. I know Taker cut it because it was getting in the way. Triple H cut it because it got in. Edge probably cut it because it was the end of his career and he thought, you know, why not? It kind of gets in the way a little bit, so it's like masks.
That's what I was going to relate to, because Triple H, I guess he wanted a more professional look more than the, you know, messy hair.
Now he's in corporate, yes.
That's one thing. And in general as well, the music, rock stars do it. Like you've seen Bon Jovi go short, Chris Jericho go short, even though he's Wrestle too. Other music artists. I think it's just, you know, to have a tidier look in doing what they're doing.
And to be honest, I think it's just a fashion now. I don't think long hair really is in fashion. I mean, look at us, we both have short, snappy haircuts. So there we go. What if Triple H and Taker stayed in WCW? What would their careers be like now? Nowhere near as big. I think if these two stayed in WCW, while WCW may have been a bigger company and may have won out, I don't think you wouldn't have the streak that Taker's known for. I don't think Triple H would have been as big a push because he got married to Stephanie, and that, you know, gave him the sort of power in WWF that he required to sort of go on and be a big star. So I don't think any of those two guys would be anywhere near as good as they are now.
There's still big matches they would have had if they were in WCW and stayed on, but I think coming WWE with the creative minds that they're in now and gone through what they have done, the WWE have made them who they are.
Sweet Latte 18. What's your dream tag match? NWO versus DX. Has to be, in my opinion.
That has to go straight down. More the old NWO and DX, yes.
What do you think would have happened if Eric Bischoff was the one over WWF from the beginning until now? How would the business be today? I think this is with Bischoff. If WCW won and got one over WWF, you know, WCW would be the bigger company now. That's what it would be. I mean, Bischoff got fired, I think, in 1998. Because the ratings weren't very good for WCW after WWF kind of took over. It'll be a totally different business as WCW won the war. It really would.
I think, again, yes, it would be about the strength of WCW over other wrestling companies, much stronger than.
If Triple H and Stephanie couldn't take over WWE after Vince retired, who would you pick to take their place? Who would you pick?
Shane O'Mac!
If he wanted to do it, yeah, which I don't think he would now, but his time would have been 2005-06, so I don't know who would take over the WWE. I really don't. No idea. It would have to be Shane. If not, I don't know. I don't know who else can take over. If you could ask Vince one question, what would it be? As a businessman, I'd be interested to see his business strategies going forward for the WWE, what next bigger stars he's going to make, what future businesses around wrestling he's going to try and get into, what he's going to try and center his products around. Those business-type questions would interest me more.
What was your bright idea of getting other writers in? Yes, we can take our guesses, but to hear it from the horse's mouth would make things a lot more clearer.
Warty penis. Oh, God. Did you get some STDs, young man? What is the worst finisher in WWE? What is the worst? Cobra! Cobra's fucking terrible. Andrew Harris, a.k.a. 17A Harris. How much longer will The Undertaker wrestle? Max a couple of years. In my opinion, he hasn't got much longer left in him.
Even though the end of an era would have been my full stop for many different reasons, it's been reported since the CM Punk match that he's in the best shape he's been in for the last few years. I think the WWE are going to jump on that, so I can see it going 2-3 more years.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much the same as my estimation. Howard Starr. Now that Paul Bearer has passed away, who will induct Undertaker into the Hall of Fame? Probably Kane. You'd think it would have to be Kane now, wouldn't you?
There's no one really else that Undertaker really relates to other than Kane.
Why did Vince kill off pets that they were brought to ring as mascots? I don't know. I mean, pets would be a good thing, especially if you are actually, you know, like Jake the Snake Roberts Snake and, you know, other things like that. I just don't think. I don't think they're in fashion now. Back in the 80s, 90s, it was okay to do, like with the bird and everything sometimes. But not today. It would be a bad idea, but especially safety wise as well. I don't think it would work.
The safety does play the biggest role. Of course, they're going to hammer down the PG, especially when they brought the PG in.
Yep.
The other reason is the characters they're bringing in. None of them really represent an animal type. Maybe they could have done it if the pet was around, but none of the characters are represented by animals.
It's very true. The only character I can think that could be represented by an animal would be Leo Kruger's hunter gimmick in NXT, but unfortunately that doesn't really have anything attached to it, and that's, again, a lack of unique characters in WWE right now, and that, you can't really give them that kind of identity, like Jake the Snake Roberts and people like that. Jamie O'Halloran 4, what's your favourite match separately then together? Your favourite match, MJ?
Triple H, Shawn Michaels. Can I give you a specific one? There's been so many. 3 Stages of Hell, you got 3 awesome matches by my favourite. So, yes.
My favourite match will always be, it will either be Royal Rumble 2000, Triple H and Cactus Jack, which I think is the match we would probably enjoy most together. So for that case, I would say WrestleMania 17, Rock and Austin. It's a sentimental match. That was the one I enjoyed from the card. And both of us really, really loved the Cactus Jack Triple H street fight from Royal Rumble 2000. Great match.
That is obviously, as we said about many times, Mick Foley putting over Triple H. So it had that reason behind it and the quality of both wrestlers.
Mr. Anonymous User, NJ, name your top 10 films.
10.
A lot to choose from.
This was recommended as a video, but if I run down some now, I probably won't get 10 from the top of my head, but here we go. We've got Heat, Man on Fire, Inside Man, we've got Godfather. Yeah, indeed. We've got The Collector. That was quite good. The Saw Collection. Nightmare on Elm Street. We've got Taken in Some Way. Warrior.
And what about, and for me, my top 10 games? I don't play that many games, so I can't really give you a top 10. But for me, it's FIFA, Guitar Hero series, Grand Theft Auto. Those are really the only games I play. Skate, yeah, you brought that. Skate was a good game. I like Tony Hawk's. I used to enjoy a while back. I can't really think of any other games off the top of my head that I actually enjoy. I don't really play that many games. That I play, FIFA a lot, Guitar Hero a lot, and that's really about it. So I can't really recommend too many games. Queen Crazy will recommend you a couple of games though. 29 Muskie. What, in your opinion, is the best T-shirt design for a WWE superstar? Mine is Triple H design, the game shirt from, I think, around about the 2000-2001 era. I imagine for you it would be a Triple H shirt.
Again, yes, I could say Orton for another example, because his older shirts were more the snaky and the... Not like, oh, there's a picture way back of his face on it or something.
Yeah.
I say the design where it's unique, like Triple H's, yes, and Orton's.
I say for me, I always love that CM Punk shirt, which is why I bought one, Best in the World shirt. The problem with WWE shirts for me is the designs are kind of bland. You have like a design there, it's just a bland shirt. I mean, this is one of the reasons why I like TNA shirts a lot better. The Austin Aries shirt, the Lockdown shirt, just have more of a design, and those are the kind of shirts I like. Whereas WWE's are just one thing, kind of like this, but just just there.
My 2 problems with WWE as of these last few years is they change really quickly before you can get enough to get behind a shirt. Yes, 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 no, 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 and stuff like that. Ziggler's continuation, Cena's continuation. I personally thought that was a problem, and also none of them are specially related. They're just these gimmicky shirts.
What is the best piece of WWE merchandise you have ever bought? Does that include DVDs? But for me, it would have to be my Cody Rhodes t-shirt, but there are a lot of DVDs up there. I think the History of WrestleMania was a fantastic DVD and a great buy for only about £6. I got it off Silvervision.
That is good, because obviously with it being the big pay-per-view, I could definitely relate to shirts. I've got 13 in total, but I'm going to go with probably, yes, any of my 13 shirts.
Unlucky 13. Did you ever collect WWE action figures? Oh, when we were a kid. I always had action figures. I've probably still got them in my attic somewhere.
I'm pretty sure I still have a whole bag full. There was so many. And yes, I've seen many people on YouTube collecting special edition this, special edition that. Stuff that could be worth, still boxed up and everything. But I just used to get them, buy them, play with them, now I just don't do anything with them
I
anymore.
remember I had a ladder, I had a ring, I had an announcer's table, I had all sorts of stuff I did. I used to enjoy playing with my wrestling figures when I was a kid. I'm not ashamed. RFV089 to Mr. Parkin. What do you think of Gareth Bale, and do you think that based on his performances right now will be better than Giggs? He will be much better than Giggs. In terms of a quality player, probably not in terms of how legendary Giggs' performance is and the longevity of his career. Gareth Bale could be one of the best players in the world. He's definitely in the top 5 players in the world, in my opinion. To NJ, I'm now a big fan of CSI, and I wanted to ask you, have you seen the CSI episode with Justin Bieber?
Yes. He was hammered in for about 2-3 episodes, and I thought, okay, that's dragged him on enough. But when it went down to finishing him off, scrapping him out, very nicely done. Definitely gave me a warm feeling, a feeling that only... No, I'm not going to say the death.
Oh, well, I must admit, I did get a lot of love out of seeing Justin Bieber get killed by some cops. Just wish that would happen in real life. Is Los Guerreros of Chavo and Eddie a Hall of Fame tag team? Yes, in a way, because of Eddie Guerrero. Mainly, though, I don't think Chavo has any right to be in the Hall of Fame. I think Eddie does, so I'm mixed on that.
Even though that Chavo is now in TNA, I think the TNA should be respectful and especially give to WWE the inductee of the Los Guerreros.
Yeah, what's it like to live in Peterborough? Do you know what? It's got to the point now where I'm just used to it, and I don't really go out that much anyway, so I wouldn't recommend living here because there's a lot of immigrants and stuff coming into Peterborough right now. But I'm used to it, so I think it's fine. But I think someone moving in really wouldn't like Peterborough all that much.
There are many people that complain about the hometown they live in. People complain about Peterborough. I personally call it home. It's got everything I need in it. There are some attractions, but there are other cities that have more that could be a good attraction to go to.
I mean, all we have is a cathedral and now a League One football team. Danny Allmark, if you could have TNA and WWE come together for WrestleMania, what matches would you have? Oh, here we go. Austin Aries, CM Punk, that would be a match. You could have Sting versus Undertaker. That's another match we've kind of talked about a little bit.
Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan, Abyss, Kane.
The possibilities are endless there. You could have a James Storm versus... named Sheamus or something.
Sure. That's Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels, but he's not around really. But there are so many possibilities you can come up with here. There's a lot of good TNA talent. You could even have a Matt Morgan against Big Show or something like that. Good. There are a lot of great matches there. Scott Wilde, what are your thoughts on Gene Snitsky's time in WWE, and did you think his gimmick worked?
It wasn't my fault.
I never really liked Snitsky that much, really. Just a generic big guy, and the gimmick just failed. What is the worst/boring WWE match in the past 2 years you've watched? Take your pick. Cena versus Laurinaitis, Cena versus Big Show in the steel cage was boring. And there are probably others that I can't really remember because they were so boring.
I don't want to be sexist, but most of the Divas matches, there's not been a while that I can compliment one. If I had to give another one, I could say majority of 3MB's matches because you know pretty much the result.
Yeah. So
to be honest, I know we're not giving a specific one, but again, they're just a group that we can expect to keep getting for the last 2 years.
I totally agree with you on that. I just can't care about the Divas division right now. Do you think The Miz and Cody Rhodes have taken an eternity to get anywhere? The Miz, I think both are examples of people that have been built up over time. Miz was a tag team champion, a US champion, an IC champion, a world champion, main event wrestler. So it took him a while to get somewhere, but to me, Miz was the kind of guy that had to work and had to build his way up the card in order to get up to the top. As for Cody Rhodes, he got to that point where you felt he could have get into the main event, and now he's kind of gone really far down. So it does look like it's going to be an eternity for him to get anywhere.
The Miz, I think, is a big shame. Yes, for that WrestleMania, he slipped up and went down. The turning him face, I was fingers crossing they had a reason for this, but sadly it's not really appearing. Cody Rhodes, there was really, people say main event, future main event, and Money in the Bank winner, and they slipped up with him, and now the tag team could have been a good direction if he actually won the tag team gold. So to right now, I think both these two were teased but never got the full push.
The reason why Miz turned face is because he was filming a movie, and that's what they wanted to play off that, and they haven't really done a very good job of it, though. He's filming another one right now. Jack Gibbons. Brock Lesnar just signed a new deal with WWE, so he will be with the company for another 2 years. Who would you like to see him go up against? Some current stars, like a Sheamus, an Orton, you know, just CM Punk, just some current stars that you can help elevate a little bit.
I think the thing with Brock Lesnar, Vince McMahon's not going to use him as a put over younger talent guy, because I think when you think of Brock Lesnar's growth and who he is, he's always going to be the guy to put on main event drawing matches like the Triple H, John Cena, and so on. So but what I personally want, I said this from day one, a SmackDown top star. Yes, things will still happen on Raw, but at least you expect him to appear on SmackDown to give SmackDown the main event moment.
If Kurt Angle ever returns to WWE, who would you like to see him feud with? CM Punk.
Danny Bryan.
Danny Bryan would be a good
mid-card wrestling over.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'd love to see him feud with CM Punk, though. I think that would be a good one. Anthony Tukey. Many of you guys say The Rock versus Hogan at WrestleMania 18 was a great match, when actually it was a horrible match. It was as bad as Goldberg versus Brock at WrestleMania 20. The booking of the match was so bad, that's without saying, look, Hogan looked very weak, he got a pin. I think, yeah, okay, I can see what you're saying here. The reason, there is much more to matches than just the wrestling. I mean, you've got to take into account psychology, the crowd reaction, and what we got that night was a very, very unique crowd reaction, which you won't see that often. The babyface was getting booed, and the heel started getting cheered. You know, at that point in WrestleMania, that was a unique match, and the fact that it was two icons going at it, you know, it's not about how good the wrestling is, it's not about technical wrestling, it's about the spectacle of the match.
And that, my adding on to that is that this was one of the matches that had to happen, because with a big name in Hogan, a big name in The Rock, going at it to give the fans a match that was dying to happen. Yeah. I think no matter how the match really turned out in people's opinion, it was a match that had to happen in the lifetime. Yeah,
and it was a good match. It's not about wrestling. I mean, it's not all about the wrestling, people. Come on. Luca Quarter. Do you think WWE need to separate both brands of this whole 3-hour shit show? No. If they separate... Okay, just imagine if they separated out the brands and they didn't have any SmackDown superstars on Raw. There'll be way more filler on Raw and way more people that we just don't give a fuck about. So they can't do it. They can't do it now.
I think, obviously, the 3-hour Raw is quite a problem. I personally liked the idea of going back to a powerful Raw show, a powerful SmackDown show. But as this has been going on for years now, I don't think the WWE can go back to recreate a strong SmackDown show and strong Raw show.
I think they can make a strong SmackDown show, but if Raw is 3 hours, making a strong Raw show is going to be very hard if they ever do that, and that's why I don't think the brand split should happen. That's why they're not even having a draft, because what's the point? What belt do you think is better, IC or World title? If you're talking about looks, I'd say the IC title. I know you would say the World title, but World title is better. Yeah.
Thing is, even though the IC... I don't know how you want us to answer this. In importance, Cody Rhodes bringing back the IC was meant to give the IC its importance back. Failed big time, because it's still nowhere near where it should be. The world is not nowhere near where it should be since Edge lost it. Maybe when Mark Henry lost it, either one. But they're both bad, but I'm going to give the credit more to the world, because I still think there's a chance if the WWE had more of a stronger booking for the World Championship.
How do you make WWE better so people don't moan every week and complain about the ratings? That's a very difficult question. It's not really something we can really answer. I'd say the first thing, you need to push some new people. You need to get some new stars in there. But the problem is, as soon as you bring some new stars in, the ratings are automatically going to go down.
That is not the one I would have said out loud, because they are slowly bringing up the Shield and all that, and they're getting spotlighted. What I'd personally do is look at what the reaction like. Vince had his own idea of who he wants as a face, who he wants as a heel. When the crowd choose who they want, here, there, and everywhere, Vince doesn't always listen. So I think give the fans more what they want instead of what Vince wants all the time.
I guess the only danger to that would be, you know, 1 week they're cheering Fandango, next minute they're booing Fandango. It just wouldn't work. Where did you study at college, and what grades did you get at school? We both studied at the same school. I got mid to level grades, but still got into university, where I went on and got a first honours, which I was very pleased with. So
my highest grade is City and Guilds level 2, and the other one is a counselling course in Open University.
What do you think WWE will do with Christian? Do you think he'll get involved with Swagger Del Rio World title? Who knows? I mean, I think he's a mid-carder, but I think logically Cesaro, but where's he going right now? I don't know.
You can go back to when Edge and Del Rio in that feud, and they pushed Christian to fill in the blanks in the future. Maybe that was the wrong choice to make, because Christian, from then on, seemed to show aspect of a good few matches, but more of a mid-carder. I think he's going to be a mid-carder that can put people over.
I think that's the best use of Christian right now. Yeah, that's been a Q&A with us, the British Fist. Did want to say that, but you have to wait till the end of the video this time. NJ, can you do the what's up?
What's up?
You have to wait till the end of the thing. I'm going to pay for this now, people. But anyway, so this has been a Q&A. You can keep sending us in Q&A through commenting, inboxing us, all the stuff in the description box below. And thank you very much for watching another Q&A with us, British Fist.
Good, Jim.
Goodbye.